Ah, February, a time of romance, a time of chocolate, a time of getting together with your loved one, curling up with an open fire and watching a good movie. A time of calling bullshit, in my opinion.
I have some pretty stupid memories of February, so I'm very bitter around this time of year. February is a time of terror for the male demographic, especially if you have a girlfriend or a wife. Why? Because nothing says you love your girl than by going through absolutely anything for her.
And by anything, I mean going through the worst that Hollywood has to offer the chicks. All throughout February, I will be looking at a series of chick stuff that many of you may or may not have heard of. And I can hear you saying, "But Blaze, why would you want to put yourself through something as horrifying as that?" Because when people suffer, viewers eat that shit up.
There's a lot of dumb to get through, so let's take a look at our first customer, the Princess and the Goblin.
Growing up with a sister, I always dreaded when I had to watch this because I hated it so much as a kid, but most of me could never figure out why. Maybe it was because, as a little boy, I didn't like the main character being a girl, or maybe it was the Goblin's weakness to music that got to me.
Or looking back at this movie as an adult, it's probably because it was the stupidest movie I've ever seen in my entire life!
The animation is surreal, the story is laughable, the main character is obnoxious, and it has some of the stupidest villains you will ever see in your entire life.
Don't take my word for it, let's just see how bad this movie is.
We start the movie with exposition from a narrator seeing how King, Brownbeard must leave his kingdom in order to go fight in a war that threatens his people.
Everything was quiet that day in the kingdom. The air hung heavy and damp around the castle. Little did I know when I rode off of the peril in which I left my daughter, the Princess Irene. But affairs of state were pressing.
Okay then, have fun with that. Obviously the war that could possibly doom the kingdom isn't interesting enough, so instead, the audience is stuck babysitting the king's daughter, Princess Irene, who I could swear looks like a cross between Princess Peach and Thumbelina. She decides to play involuntary hide-and-seek with her servant Looty, alongside her cat Turnip.
No, Turnip! Don't! You know what Looty's like. She's always worried about strange things.
Look out, Turnip! Don't touch that caterpillar, or something strange is going to happen!
Oh yeah, go ahead and sleep, Looty. Lord knows Irene might be getting raped while you're napping, but who cares? You need your beauty nap. Lord knows you fucking need it.
Come on, Turnip.
So she plays around with the cat some more, only to find that a bunch of ant hills start popping up, scaring the shit out of her. And to be fair, it scared me too the first time I saw this as a kid. Anyways, Irene finds herself cornered by a bunch of rejected Neopets when they suddenly go batshit crazy by listening to bad singing.
There's a spark inside us that we can all ignite, and all that's dark inside us will flicker into light.
Okay, that's unfair. He's not that bad. And if I'm gonna be totally honest, I actually think this song is pretty cool.
There's a power in every note.
I just love how confident and triumphant it sounds, but at the same time, it's calm and comforting, knowing that no matter how bad things may seem, you can just sing to lift your spirits towards that one shred of light in the darkness. This kick-ass song was sung by a boy named Curdy, a boy from the kingdom's local mining village.
Are you alright?
Yes, I think so.
You look alright.
The two of them seem to hit it off relatively well, but then Curdy proceeds to explain what just happened to poor Irene.
Goblins? Pets?
Sure. Everyone knows about the goblins and their pets, except people from the castle.
What?
Everyone knows about the goblins and their pets, except people from the castle.
Bullshit.
You mean to tell me that even though everyone knows about the goblins, not one of them went to the castle to plead for help? You honestly expect me to believe that with a subject as threatening as goblins, arguably one of the most dangerous creatures in fantasy lore, nobody went to warn the king about them? I mean, sure, the king might not believe you at first, especially considering the fact that we find out that this world isn't exactly a fantasy world, but more akin to more realistic medieval rules. But if enough people complained about it, it would eventually get his attention.
What's the matter, people? Don't have a lot of faith in your king? Think you can take care of yourselves without having to rely on the big boss? Okay, I'll play along. Let's just keep watching and see if this movie gets any dumber.
So as Curdy takes her back to the castle, he finds out that she's actually a princess, and Irene wants to thank him for helping her.
Let me give you a kiss to thank you.
A kiss?
And I guess she's easier to get into than the Paris Hilton.
Is it hard to get into the Paris Hilton?
Actually, it's a very exclusive hotel, no matter what you've heard.
Wait! You didn't tell me your name.
Curdy! It's Curdy!
Curdy.
Oh, I guess I was saying his name wrong. It's apparently Cardi.
So Princess Irene goes back to the castle, which appears you don't need any key to get into, gets lectured by Ludi about how she's lying about being attacked by goblin pets, I still don't understand how they don't know they exist, and then goes to bed. She wakes up the next morning to find Ludi bringing in some new sheets for her bed, but then trips on them, puts them on their bed, and then leaves with the sheets again.
That was pointless.
Well, okay, there was one point to that scene. It's when Ludi got distracted talking to Irene and ended up stepping on Turnip's tail. This causes the poor cat to have a freak-out moment and ends up tearing up one of the curtains, revealing a glowing rose on one of the wall frames, revealing a hidden door. Irene soon discovers the door herself, and the both of them adventure inside. They suddenly find a stained glass window inside with another glowing rose on it, and as soon as Irene touches it, it bursts into flames.
Now, as flawed as this movie is, I will give it some much-deserved credit. It has incredible atmosphere.
The world itself looks like a canvas painting, and it looks just beautiful. The colors are vibrant and friendly in the nice scenes, and dark and uninviting during the more dangerous parts. And to top that off, the music knows its role in the movie. All throughout the movie, you get feelings of triumph, loneliness, dread, and happiness. But during the moments of heavy atmosphere, the music is dead silent, allowing the world to express itself with its own visual atmosphere. The only problem with this is, well, the goddamn animation! I have never seen animation clash so horribly with its background before. The scenery is so beautiful and painterly that when you actually see it without any animation, it looks like you could take a picture and frame it on your wall. So when you see something moving, it's so painfully obvious that it looks like it came from a completely different movie. Take this scene for example. It's when Irene reaches the top of the corridor and finds 3 doors. Just try to guess which one is the door she'll go through first.
Come in, Irene.
Oh, what a shock! It's the door that's so obviously not painted into the background!
Okay, I'd better move on or I'll drive myself crazy. So Irene enters the magically open door and is greeted by a mysterious woman who claims to not only have the same name as her, but also happens to be her great-great-grandmother. The scene is pretty, but it doesn't have anything substantial about the plot. It's basically just filler besides Irene finally knowing that she has a magical grandmother. However, much like Ludi and Turnip, there is, in fact, one point to this scene, but it's much more subtle. We see that Irene's grandmother is using a spinning wheel to create some type of thread, but you'd also notice that unless you see it reflecting off of light, you can't see it. This thread is actually for Irene later in the movie, but the grandmother doesn't say that it's for her right away. While Irene shoots the shit with her grandmother, we cut back to the mining village where Cardi lives. As he and his father are heading to the mines, he boasts to his dad about how he was able to drive away many goblin pets with their song.
So I sang louder and louder, and those slimy little monsters just ran away, leaving this girl, who said she was a princess.
A princess?
Yeah.
That was a brave thing you did, son.
Yeah, but then she tried to kiss me.
Kiss you? Premarital kissing in medieval times? Wow, what a slut. God help this kingdom when she's crowned
Take a break, Curdy. You don't have to do that.
Well, I'm glad Curdy has a considerate dad, unlike most movies I watch.
But when Curdy takes a rest by a nearby rock, he suddenly hears something wicked this way coming.
Where's that noise coming from?
I don't know. Play that clip again.
Where's that noise coming from?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna call it.
How the hell was Curdy able to find that stupid rock? Just how long were these guys mining in these caves? Well, they're obviously mining for a long time, otherwise we wouldn't have a castle. So what? They just decided to stop mining in that area, even though mining that one rock would have revealed the Goblin Tunnel?
Hey, Joe! Look at this! Oh, I'm busy mining rocks! But look, there's a tunnel behind this rock! Okay, kid, there's one thing you must know. We never talk about that rock, got it? But what if this tunnel leads to a gold, or I don't know, maybe some ancient goblin treasure? Well, get the hell over here! Who the hell wants this kind of shit? We have rocks, damn it!
Also, I think Curdy has power over gravity, because he seems to be falling pretty slowly here, doesn't he? And shouldn't that fall have broken every bone in his body? I mean, holy shit! Not only did he fall from a high cliff, but he landed on friggin' stone! Cobblestone! With sharp corners and edges!
Damn, kid! Are you some kind of Terminator or something?
So after shrugging off what should have been a fatal injury,
Just a flesh wound.
Curdy discovers that he's on a goblin mining wagon that's transporting boulders to an enormous dam, holding enough water to flood the entire mines. He also overhears the goblins talking about a goblin named Prince Froglet, and how he can be so nasty that he'll... well, I'll let these guys explain.
Well, what's the most sensitive part of your body? Don't be stupid. My feet, of course.
Their feet are the most sensitive part of their body? Movie, I've been trying to level with you, okay? And I can understand how goblins wouldn't be able to listen to music, because, let's face it, being underground for a long time could render something like that a little, well, noisy. But how the hell can having sensitive feet make any sense in the context of this story?
Just how long have these guys been living underground? A very long time, right? If you live underground, that would no doubt mean that you would have to navigate very treacherous terrain, such as unstable ceilings, potential flooding, and of course, very rocky flooring. These goblins have been living in a world of very rough terrain. Wouldn't evolution dictate that their feet would harden just as much as the rest of their bodies to compensate for such hazardous terrain? Whatever. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. Things start to get a little more interesting as the goblins are called away from a calling horn, indicating a summoning from the goblin royal family. Curdy follows them and hides in the upper rafters of the room and listens in on the court meeting. Unfortunately, this also leads us to the introduction of our main villain.
No! It's not enough! Didn't you once tell me that hundreds of years ago we lived above the ground?
As you can see, this guy is gonna hurt.
In fact, I hate the whole goblin royal family in general. The king won't stop sneezing, therefore he's irritating. The queen won't stop shouting, making her grating. And Froglet? Well, not only is his voice annoying, but he's constantly trying to impersonate Sylvester from the Looney Tunes!
Oh yeah, and he's a whiner too.
Hurt him! Hurt him! For mother, please!
Oh god, shut up! Please excuse me, that was a little too far.
Anyways, purpose of this scene is to show that the goblins will invade the surface world to enslave the sun people. And if that doesn't work, they'll blow the dam and flood their mines. Curdy barely manages to escape with more slow falling and manages to reunite with his father.
Curdy, Thank God you're safe.
Father.
And speaking of being reunited with fathers, King Brownbeard has come back with his expedition with the other kingdom.
Okay, so if it only took him 2 days to get back, I guess whatever he was doing wasn't that interesting.
And no, I'm not kidding here. There is not one part of this movie where there is a long montage that passes time faster, other than the transition day to night or night to day. The entirety of the movie literally takes place over the course of only 3 days.
And yes, by the end, Irene and Curdy do get together. Stupid 3D Disney princess romances.
So Irene proceeds to explain to her father about everything that she's been through, including her encounter with the goblin pets and her grandmother. Alarmed by the events that took place while he was gone, and for some reason not questioning where Ludi's been through all this, Brownbeard immediately puts the castle under strict security. However, the goblin pets manage to sneak past the guard with some stunning stealth skills. Nah, I'm just kidding. The guards are instead too idiotic to keep a competent watch on their posts, allowing the pets to walk right past them.
Damn, sure is dark out here, bro. Wonder what I could do to pass the...
Oh, is that chick skinny dipping?
She totally is.
Oh, wait, look at her. She's totally fake.
Be quiet, dude. We haven't discovered plastic surgery yet.
Hey, look, a demonic cat.
Yeah, that's nice. Now, if you don't mind, I'm looking at boobies.
So yeah, the evil cat manages to get into Irene's bedroom. The goblins already knew where Irene slept, what the hell? And proceeds to make his way to the...
What are you doing, cat? Your claws got stuck in the rock. Oh no! Look out! He might leave tear marks on there.
I mean, dude, it's pretty bad when Turnip is able to beat the shit out of you and then get pwned or pinned by a dormouse. So the two of them proceed to keep fighting on the bullshit!
Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit! Okay, guys, no, that's not gonna work. How the hell was that cat able to not only escape from Turnip from up top of the canopy, but also land right on that bed next to Irene without waking her up?
Hello, Turnip. Oh, Turnip, you want me to kiss you? Oh, you're such a bad kitty. Oh, God, I'm so lonely. I should have boned that Curdy kid while I had the chance.
But it doesn't take long for Irene to realize that it's not Turnip, and they all manage to escape to the hidden door, where Irene meets up with her grandmother, where we finally have a point to her being in this movie.
It's time to show you what I've been spinning for you. Here. This is what I have been spinning for you.
It's very pretty, Grandmother. But I'm not very good at sewing.
Well, if you don't want it, then maybe I'll stop helping you, you ungrateful bitch.
I'm sorry,
No! Shut up! Give me the thread.
All right.
Give me the thread!
Okay.
Have fun with the scary demon cat, bitch!
Oh, okay, that didn't happen. But as we go further into the movie, you'll wish it had just so we can get through this faster.
So Irene gets the thread and proceeds to fall into the caves with Turnip. While back with Curdy, his dad plans to go into the caves as well to find out how the goblins plan to get to the surface. His plan to take a ball of their own thread and tie it to a rock to be able to easily retrace his steps, which is actually not a bad idea.
He doesn't know his way around down there. I'll have to go.
Yes, he doesn't know his way down like I do. That's why I'm taking the thread with me, so that I won't get lost, since I clearly know my way around the caves that I've only been in once.
So Curdy makes his way into the cave and once again proceeds to manipulate gravity and not to break any... Okay, you know what? I'm tired of beating on this dead horse. But Curdy shortly runs out of thread and gets caught up in a water current, washing up in an underground village built by the goblins. He finds the throne room and tries to overhear the conversation a little bit more.
That's funny.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, he stupidly stands up, breaks the rocks, and stays on the rocks, even though he had enough time to step off.
Let me have him! Oh, please, let me have him! I could do such nasty things to him!
Yes, we get it! You hate humans! Now just shut up and just do something about it!
All right, Rocket. Watch out for your feet.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The goblins are more incompetent than Brownbeard's guards. Seriously, guys, if your most sensitive area is your feet, protect them! Yeah, see? The Queen has the right idea. Why don't the rest of you guys do something like that?
Yeah, because I forbade them to do it.
The hell? Are you the Goblin Queen?
Yes! And I am quite offended that you don't understand our goblin culture!
Goblin culture? What the hell are you talking about?
I forbid them from wearing the shoes because only I am allowed to wear stone shoes!
Oh yeah, because that's a totally smart thing to do. Keep them one sensitive body part exposed because you think you should be the only one to wear them.
But they look so good on me!
Nothing looks good on you!
Why are you so mean?
Yeah, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you, girly girl.
Fine by me, son boy, but I haven't finished with you yet!
Get out of my house!
Ass.
So it doesn't take long for the goblins to outnumber him, and he ends up trapped in a room. While back with Irene, she continues to make her way through the cave as the thread continues to... Gah! What the fuck? Why does she look so psychotic there? Is she fantasizing about raping Curdy again?
I keep telling her to take her medication, but does anyone listen to me?
So, after that disturbing imagery, she makes her way to her room, which seems like a dead end.
We'll never find our way out of here.
Sheesh, way to give up the minute you stop moving forward. She must have ADD or something.
Oh no! The thread isn't going any further! Hey, where'd you come from, Turnip? Where'd you follow me this whole time, you little butterfly?
So Turnip decides that since Irene is a bit of a dumb, pessimistic bitch, he'd have to give her a little hint.
That's it. Follow the thread through this pile of rocks.
Oh, wow, really? I never would have guessed that. I mean, it's not like the thread was going right through the fucking rock.
She proceeds to dig through the rocks and starts to hear Curdy singing, no doubt because he's bored out of his mind and he has nothing better to do.
God, I'm so glad I'm all the way down here. Otherwise, I might have ended up coming across that creepy, horny princess again.
Is that you, Cardi?
What was that?
Cardi! Cardi!
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
So Curdy opens the passageway and Irene goes back inside, since that's where the thread is leading her.
It's all right. I've got the thread.
Thread? What thread?
The one Grandmother gave me.
Oh god, she's making that face again.
Jack is so hot. Will you just fuck me already?
What did you say?
Nothing! You heard nothing!
As they venture further into the cavern, they eventually come across lava rivers, a room full of goblins, and eventually the royal bedroom.
I'm gonna repeat that again.
Lava, goblins, and the royal bedroom.
You know, her grandma's a real dick.
Why the hell did she make this thread if all it would do is potentially kill her? I mean, yeah, you could argue that the thread was leading her to Curdy so that she can save him, but then why the hell is the thread trying to lead her deeper into the caves? I mean, sure, at least them out of the caves eventually, but not before going over a collapsing bridge over lava, almost making up a goblin guard, running away from the goblins after waking up the queen, and then ziplining down, even deeper into the caves, which somehow leads them outside?
I'm just gonna move on from this scene before my brain rots even more.
Look, Cuddy, the moon.
We almost died.
So Irene takes Curdy to see her grandmother, but surprise, surprise, it turns out that she's not there, leading to Curdy not believing that she's there. Frustrating that Irene would rather rely on imaginary grandmothers, Curdy goes to warn the king himself, but unfortunately he ends up running into the castle guard instead.
Stop! Who goes there? Shoot it! I'm sorry, kid. You tackled the guard, you fell unconscious. You have no excuse for that.
Oh, but it gets dumber. Instead of reporting the kid to the medical wing so that they could heal his injury, they instead decide to hide him in a barracks.
The more I see these guys, the more I'm reminded of Bulk and Skull from the Power Rangers. And not in a good way.
So Irene finally decides to stop moping and get over it, discovering that she shouldn't have to rely on her grandmother. Yeah, of course you shouldn't. As I recall, that thread she gave you didn't really help much, and, dare I say, almost killed you!
Thank God that piece of shit was a MacGuffin, because from here on out, we'll never see that thread again. Good riddance!
So she commands Lucci to summon her father to warn him about the goblin attack, to which Brownbeard takes immediate action by no. Doubling the guard? Are you high? These guys couldn't fight their way out of notebook paper. How the hell do you think they'd fare against bona fide goblin? God, you see? Complete incompetence! So we cut back to Curdy waking up from what I can only assume is a minor concussion and is greeted by Irene's grandmother. She heals his wounds and then leaves. And I'm not kidding when I say this, but this is the last time we ever see her. Let's recap the times we saw her. The first time we saw her, she was spinning Irene's thread, indicating she has way too much time on her hands if she can make that much thread, and then she just shoots the breeze with Irene and does a bunch of pretty magic stuff. The second time, she gives her the thread and ties it to a ring for her to put on her finger, even though it's clearly not tied to her ring, as we then see that it's more like a GPS system that wants to kill you. And now we cut to the third and final time we see her. And what does she do? She makes Curdy feel better.
Wow, thank you, Irene's grandmother. You must be really powerful to be able to heal me that fast.
Well, I don't mean to brag, but yeah, I'm awesome.
So does this mean you'll help us stop the goblins?
Well, I'd love to, dearie, but well, the thing is, oh no, look, a goblin!
Where? What the? So in short, get out of this movie if there's no point to you!
So the invasion is in full force, and Curdy goes to warn Irene.
Oh, living in my bedroom? You're not planning to do anything, are you?
Girl, I think you have some problems.
I totally did!
Curdy tells Irene not to leave the room, since it's the safest place in the castle, considering the secret door and everything. But the room isn't as peaceful as it seems. As it turns out, Froglip followed Curdy to Irene. While back at the... Oh, God, this is stupid. Okay, guys, how are you guys competent fighters at all?
If you've been through proper military training, and I know there was some of that in medieval times, so don't kid yourself, movie, then you would know that if you're not hurting anything, you change your tactics to find a weakness. But here, these guys are just swinging their swords willy-nilly, trying to look badass.
I mean, look at this guy. He doesn't even give a shit. Shit, goblins, they're not paying me enough for this. Fuck this shit. I'm going back to watching the chick with the big boobs. After Curdy's intervention in managing to help the guards, seriously guys, you don't look very good when a 10-year-old can fight better than you, they find the source of the invasion in the wine cellar, where the goblins have captured Brownbeard. After an awkward and very disjointed fight sequence, they manage to drive the goblins back to the caves. This causes the goblins to resort to flooding the mines.
Goodbye, Sun People, but we haven't finished with you yet.
But Curdy finally realizes that Froglip wasn't amongst the goblins that they drove, and rushed back to Irene. And it's fair to say that this is a pretty sad scene, because it's quite clear that whatever happened here, there was one hell of a struggle.
Your Majesty, get everyone out! They're trying to flood the mine, but we blocked it up. There's only one way the water can escape.
It'll go directly to the castle? What the hell kind of great money is that?
What the hell are you talking about, Curdy? Did you forget that we watched the entire movie and followed you and Irene through your whole adventure? There were plenty of places for the water to go. Remember all those anthills from earlier? I'm pretty sure those holes are still there. And what about that opening near the castle where they came out? I mean, sure, maybe you could argue that there's just that much water and it overflowed to the castle because those openings were just a little small. But you know what? They sure didn't bother to mention that there were even possible directions for the water to go. Oh, and also, what the hell are you doing blocking off the mine in the first place? If you do that, I would end up in the castle! Oh, thank God the movie's almost over. Okay, let's do this. Curdy manages to find Irene, but also Froglip. He threatens Curdy that if he follows him and Irene that he'll kill her, but Curdy warns him that the water will come through that tunnel since the miners blocked off the mines. Presumably retards, he decides, what are you talking about? And proceeds to get pulverized by highly pressurized water. Ouch. The entire castle gets flooded by the water and the sky cracks with thunder. I have to admit, it's actually a pretty intense moment because there's a lot of dread. People are thrown out of the castle by the water, both human and goblin. The storm rages, the music is building. It's pretty well put together. And after all that chaos, as the water finally starts to calm down, we finally see Curdy and Irene make it out. But Froglip isn't done quite yet, as he attempts to finish what he started.
Curdy, look out!
Froglip!
And this completes the trifecta of repeated audio all throughout the movie.
First, we have the constant rehash of Curdy singing Spark Inside Us, and was clearly recorded only once and used repeatedly throughout the whole movie. Next is Looty, who says the same thing twice. Both times were when searching for Irene.
Oh, that girl'll be in trouble when I find her. Oh, that girl'll be in trouble when I find her.
And finally, we have this.
Curdy, look out!
Froglip!
Curdy, look out!
Froglip!
But, unlike the rest of this movie, the gap between these two clips is so thin that it's all the more obvious that they did it!
So Curdy and Froglip fight, Irene just stands there looking pretty, Froglip falls off the cliff, and the flood finally stops.
Curdy, remember when we first met?
Yes?
Well, I made you a promise.
Whoa, Irene, what are you doing?
What's it fucking look like I'm doing, you fucking cocktease?
I never saw Irene's great-great-grandmother, but I knew she was there, watching over all of us.
Yes, you better watch out, audience, or I'll give you some threat too.
Dear Lord, what the hell did I just watch?
I mean, it's pretty bad when the closest thing to a likable character you got in this movie isn't even the main one. Every time I see this movie, it just gets worse and worse. As a kid, this was a stupid movie and I hated it. As an adult, it's even stupider, and I hate it even more for it. Horrible animation, horrible storytelling, horrible villains, horrible pacing, is just plain horrible! While there's some nice moments spread throughout the movie, it's not worth trudging through all this bad just to find the good.
I'm just glad I don't have to review this movie anymore so I can move on to... The... What? An indie movie? I was reviewing an indie movie this whole time? Ah, damn, that sure does explain a lot about this movie, doesn't it? Look, I don't care if it's an indie movie, it still sucks! I get you. Got it. Okay, folks, I bashed on what could be described as a cult movie, so I guess I'll have to review something else to balance it out. Let's see, it's gotta be something a lot of people like, but even more people seem to despise. Something more well-known. Something...